Hello. I guess we're live. Hi, welcome. Welcome to the stream. You can tell that I'm still not used to doing this. So last week I tried doing a test stream. I played a little bit of Animal Crossing, had a good time, and then was like, I'm gonna try to stream on Sundays to try to stick to a schedule. Um, so here I am. And the problem with that is I didn't exactly pick a game. To tell the truth, haven't exactly been feeling great the last week or so, mainly. So I didn't really feel like starting a game yet. Um, which kind of creates the problem of I don't know what I'm gonna do today. um, I kind of just want to like chill for a bit and just hang out. Maybe then play a game a little bit later, but I haven't even decided what I'm gonna do because this is very much not um, entirely well organized to put it bluntly. But hello, welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is doing well. I have had a very weird week for health reasons, but there's been some good stuff this week, but there's also been a lot that hasn't been great. So it's been a roller coaster of a week, to put it mildly, which is again part of the reason why I'm like, I don't even know what I'm gonna stream today. Um, so yeah, I might just boot up Animal Crossing later or something like that, or just boot up some kind of game and play it a little bit. This will probably be a short-ish stream. Like I'm guessing somewhere between like an hour to like 2 hours. I don't think it'll be like 3 hours like last week, just because of how I'm feeling. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Um, yeah, I really didn't have a plan for today. I just mainly wanted to stream to stick to the schedule, basically, which isn't exactly the best potential reason to stream. But yeah, um, I do kind of want to talk about some stuff before potentially jumping into a game. Um, so yeah, this is basically the second stream I've done in a row in this time slot of like Sundays. And I kind of want to make this like the regular stream time for the time being. Um, but I would like to stream more, and I'm trying to figure out when would be the best time to stream. Um, basically because I feel like whenever I stream, I need to take some time to recover, if that makes sense. Um, so I'm trying to kind of work out the best way to basically budget energy, if that makes sense, in terms of like my personal energy, trying to figure out the best ways to um, stream consistently without burning out really badly, which is honestly easier said than done in a lot of cases. For me, I tend to burn out and run out of energy really quickly, to be honest. Um, so yeah, I still need to work on a lot of things in terms of streaming. I would like to work on better like assets and stuff for streams. Maybe even draw my own like stream artwork and stuff like that. Um, that's something I've considered is yeah, drawing my own artwork because right now I'm using very stock artwork from different games, like key art and things like that, and like the gifs are just like the Vulpix as they appear in their idle stance in one of the games. Is probably either it's one of the more recent ones because it's a Alolan, so probably Sword and Shield if I had to guess. Um, yeah, I actually do have a drawing tablet, and I've thought about actually just going ahead and drawing like channel art and stuff, but that would require me to learn how to draw using the tablet. So that's something I've also considered possibly doing on stream is trying to learn how to draw basically, because it's honestly been a while since I've tried. Um, what else? I also am trying to figure out because I also have a YouTube channel. I'm trying to figure out how to juggle both in a way that makes sense. Um, like recently I've been working ahead on YouTube stuff. So like I basically have a system in place right now where I do a like live commentary one-off video and then a what's the word? Like an edited review, like scripted review at the end of the month. So I've been sort of trying to figure out the best way um, to go about tackling both like avenues of content creation because I feel like part of my problem right now is I've been kind of like fixating on YouTube, and again, this is a common problem I have where I tend to tunnel vision on one thing and then neglect the other thing. So I feel like lately I've been kind of neglecting Twitch for the last however long. It's been a while to be honest. Um, so yeah, at some point I would really like to actually make both regular things and basically use Twitch as an opportunity to bolster YouTube, most likely by uh, basically going in and doing a playthrough like on YouTube and then transfer or Twitch and then transferring it over to YouTube like I did around 2019 or so. So that's kind of my current game plan. Again, who knows if I'll actually be able to stick with that. I also want to do like actual like edited stuff on YouTube still. But yeah, it's all kind of a work in progress at this point. Yeah, that's kind of some of the stuff I've had to talk about in terms of updates. But yeah, I'm working on the next review. I have 2 videos scheduled anyway for February because I wasn't sure how long the moving situation would take. So I did record 2 videos a while ago actually, and they're scheduled for middle and end of February. But then beyond that, I am working on the next Zelda video, which is the Wind Waker. That should go up at the end of March if all goes well, and then I'll probably go through like Wind Waker, Four Swords, Adventure, and Minish Cap, and then jump into a different series for a bit. Probably Splatoon would be a good game to review since 3 is relatively around the corner, not exactly soon, given that the direct didn't even give a date for it. But yeah, I do have a ton planned, to be honest. If you type !YouTube in chat, you can find a link to my YouTube. And yeah, that's kind of my like general update on my plans. So with that out of the way, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot planned for today in terms of like playing a game, unfortunately. Um, I could just play more Animal Crossing, to be honest. That would work. I just kind of feel like not launching into something quite yet because I still need to plan out everything. Um, I'm also still tweaking things like the stream settings, like font settings and text size, because I do feel like it's hard to balance, like, especially if some of this content is going to be converted over to YouTube content at some point. It's difficult to balance legibility for like text and things like that, and also balance not like distracting from the gameplay, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm still kind of working out a lot of the details. So I kind of want to do a few more like one-off, very low-key kind of streams like this, to just sort of test settings and see what works, and then when everything seems like it's working fine, then move over to actually doing like series, like playing through an entire game. Like one game I actually had in mind to play was Sonic Adventure, just because it's been like many years since I've actually played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and I've been kind of clamoring to play those games again. Um, Even though I feel like I remember them pretty well, I do feel like as an extra bonus thing, I would actually go for all emblems just to make it a little bit more exciting, because I feel like the base game, especially because I've been playing these games for like 15 to 20 years now, I feel like I kind of would blitz through like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. So I feel like I should probably come up with something else, like playing like going for all the emblems and stuff. I don't know how we tackle the Chao Garden though, because I technically have fully raised Chao, and I'm pretty sure those are saved to the system. And then not. Yeah, and that's why I feel like I've always wanted to do that. To basically complete these games like on stream. Like when I did a YouTube playthrough of SA2 years ago, like 2018, I said I wanted to actually get all the emblems just to show off all the different missions. But I always put that idea off, and I feel like on YouTube it would be in some ways easier, in some ways harder, because on one hand you have the advantage of you don't have to worry about showing everything. You can edit everything down. On Twitch, there's the downside of the live version. Obviously, we'll probably have a lot of playing the same level over and over again. But then you can take that and edit it down. Or alternatively, I could always like. And also, I feel like it would almost be easier in terms of like not, like having maybe a chat to like bounce off of would make it easier to go through all the levels more than once. SA1 wouldn't be that bad. You only have to play each level 3 times. SA2 is kind of the bad one because one, the ranks are a lot worse, and you have to play each level 5 times. So I'm just sort of debating how to go about this. At the very least, maybe go through mission mode of SA1 just because that's kind of unique, and it's a little bit less grindy than actually going for the emblems. Yeah, that's kind of the one downside. I feel like one way I'd go about it is basically go through the missions in, like, you know, a lot of playthroughs of SA2 and SA1 go through the missions, like, all of Sonic's missions in a row, like, all 3 emblems for SA1, and then just go down the list of levels. I feel like one way to combat that a little bit would be to go through all the levels in order, but by mission. If you edit it down enough, then you might as well not be doing all emblems, true. But yeah, this is just something I've thought about. I might just do a regular playthrough in all fairness, or something like that. Like a modded playthrough, maybe even with like the better SADX mod to show that off and things like that. So yeah, I definitely feel like I have plans. I've really also been thinking about playing through like longer games too, specifically because of how streaming works, how you can basically go through, like, you know, based on my stamina levels, like 2 to 3 hours of a game in one sitting, which is kind of good for long games because then you can chip away at them in fewer like streams relative to like a video where you might do like, you know, a shorter video typically for like YouTube stuff, and then my brain is not entirely working at the moment. Also, the stream is definitely struggling. I feel like my internet has been having issues lately, and I don't know why, because it should be fine, but it's definitely struggling a bit. But yeah, as I was saying, I feel like with YouTube, I feel more inclined to do shorter videos, but on Twitch, I feel like I could do like a full stream or something and wouldn't be as, I would get a lot more content out of like a stream and then converting that over to YouTube versus, trying to play like a game on YouTube and just by myself. I feel like I would, run out of things to say for one thing, for like long games, just because like on YouTube, if I'm by myself, I obviously have to focus on the game, but with Twitch, I can always interact with chat, which helps to make longer games a little bit less daunting. So yeah, if all goes well, I'm probably gonna archive this on YouTube. I don't know, like, yeah, how long this is even going to be or like the exact formatting of it, but I'm probably gonna archive this on YouTube in some form. I'll definitely like try out some different things. I tried making a community post on YouTube recently, which is kind of a weird thing on YouTube where it just kind of feels like community posts are sort of like an afterthought because like on mobile they show up in the subscription feed, but it kind of feels like they don't show up like on desktop, so it feels like you don't really see community posts. So yeah, I probably won't do that again. If I do any update type videos, I'll just make a video because that has better retention because people actually will see it. Thanks YouTube. Um, yeah, I definitely have a lot planned for both, and yeah, archiving things on YouTube from Twitch will make my life a lot easier because then I can basically kill two birds with one stone, essentially. And again, this is something I used to do a lot, where I, play a game, then every like 20 minutes or so pause the recording and then keep going, and then just take all of that and then make edited content out of it. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'll do like pre-recorded YouTube stuff as much, just because I feel like the Twitch stuff is going to be easier in some ways. But yeah, I definitely need to figure out the whole internet situation because I've dropped a lot of frames. Seems to be better now. But yeah, I definitely think trying to bolster both is better long term because when like I feel like because I focus so much on YouTube by itself, I've let the Twitch side of things slide so long that it's really hard to reinitialize on Twitch. Like it's really hard to pick up like reestablish a foothold over on Twitch after letting it slide for so long. So that's definitely something I wish I hadn't done, but to be fair, I just really wasn't entirely feeling up to doing Twitch streaming just because it is a lot more demanding in some ways because you're having to do more on the fly through live commentary rather with YouTube where you can just kind of like if something goes wrong you just restart the recording and move on, which is in some ways good in some ways bad because in that way in the YouTube sense it's actually it feels better as a perfectionist to basically put out really high quality content, but on the other hand, I dwell in a way that means I don't actually get anything done because I am a perfectionist. And yeah, that's a good point that the more stuff from Twitch gets moved over, and then people will see it, and that will advertise the content. So yeah, and then like on Twitch, because it's live, you basically have one shot at something if something goes awry. You just have to kind of learn to play it off, which is definitely something I struggle with in life, is learning to just kind of like take something and roll with it. And like it might not go to plan, but just sort of like, yeah, rolling with the punches kind of in life. And that's something I've always struggled with, not just with YouTube stuff, but just in general. I've definitely had issues with being thrown off when things don't go like I would want them to. So yeah, I definitely feel like yeah, this will be the year that I really try to stream again. Some days, again, if I try to stream consistently on Sunday, there will be a lot of cases like this probably where I don't even have like a plan and I'm just like, hi, I'm live, let's hang out, because I actually don't have anything planned. So I'm just gonna chill for a bit and yeah, just hang out. Maybe play a game later on. I know a lot of streamers actually do things like this where they basically just really spend a lot of time chatting and then they jump into a game like a little bit later. So yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. There's a lot of variables to figure out. So yeah, I do hope that I can actually stick with all my goals this year because I do have a tendency to have big plans and then be overwhelmed by the plans I put in motion, and then I give up really quickly. Yeah, I do think I will probably try to play a game. Again, it might just be Animal Crossing again because that's something where I can easily split my focus. Or I might just do this for a bit and then call it early. Again, this probably won't be a very long stream. Hopefully next week things like physically will settle down to the point where I can actually yeah, I can just play Animal Crossing. I might actually play a different Animal Crossing. I might try to boot up like an older Animal Crossing because that might be more interesting than New Horizons, which is kind of almost played out at this point with how much I've played Animal Crossing for YouTube. I've done like 140 videos or something. So yeah, I feel like playing the original or something like that would almost be kind of a nice change of pace from playing New Horizons. So yeah, I might do that. I've actually thought about doing that too. Like a periodic Animal Crossing series, but I'm trying to figure out how to make it work because of the daily nature of Animal Crossing. Like, with weekly check-ins, you have the problem of you'll miss stuff. So I'd probably have to stream it more than just once a week if I wanted to show a more thorough look at everything. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to go about this. I do feel like games without like, live elements like Animal Crossing would actually be a lot easier just because that way you don't have to worry about like a real-time situation. So like it's sadly not on anything I can stream at the moment, but say if Happy Home, well, I mean, there's Happy Home Paradise at least, so that's an option at some point. So yeah, I might do that actually eventually. Is just play through Happy Home Paradise, because that'll be something I can actually just play whenever because it's not daily, if that makes sense. So yeah, I might hook up everything and just boot up Animal Crossing for a bit and just like cruise around, do my daily routine, and then go from there. I mean, I guess Fortnite would be an option also because it is on Switch. So since I just hooked up the Switch, it's like, I mean, I guess I could. I don't know if I'm really feeling Fortnite though, to be honest. I go through like different like moods with games, and like right now I don't entirely know which mood I'm in. To be honest, it's kind of like, yeah, it's very variable, sort of like volatile. Sometimes I'll really be like, I should play this game, and then my brain immediately after is like, you actually don't want to play this game. So yeah, that is definitely an issue I have with streaming content. Is just trying to settle on something and actually feeling like sticking with it for an extended period of time. Um, like actually playing games isn't that bad, but yeah, sticking with a game is actually a little bit tougher for me personally, just because I tend to get very sidetracked a lot. So I'm trying to figure out, because I was doing audio tests, so this might actually be really quiet actually. Yeah, that's actually really quiet because I was doing a test of a Sonic game, and Sonic games are absurdly loud. So I'm gonna move that up a little bit, probably about here actually. So now I need to go in and change the game to Animal Crossing. I also have City Folk, so I might also even boot that up later on, just to have variety. But yeah, I'm not really feeling like starting a really long game, to be honest. Yeah, maybe later I might actually boot up Fortnite just for lols. That might be fun. Play a round or two and then move on. I also have some other things in mind. I actually found like I've thought about doing like Q&A type stuff. I've thought about doing like yeah, like more suggestion, more community-based stuff than it had been, because I do feel like that is one of my biggest shortcomings in terms of streaming, is ironically the community aspect and like interacting with people, because I tend to struggle with interaction. So I tend to just kind of like almost freeze up a little bit when trying to communicate with people. That's part of the reason why at some point I would like to do like collaborative stuff with friends. But right now I feel like I'm not quite at that level of feeling like up to trying to engage. And yeah, being from a YouTube background, it does make it easier to just talk like about a topic versus talking to actual people. As bad as that could potentially sound. But yeah, I do feel like in general, coming from a YouTube background does have some pros and cons, just because you basically have a different skill set that doesn't entirely overlap sometimes. I've also thought about doing like a suggestions box of like, you know, give a list of games and try to like just compile like a bunch of stuff that could potentially be streamed. Yeah, I definitely have plans. Again, I kind of wanted, like, a couple streamers I do basically have like too many games, so they try to like stream their backlog and just chip away at it, and doing it on stream gets over some of the hurdle of not feeling productive while playing games. So that's definitely an option that I've considered, because I have like 500 unfinished games. Not that all of them could be streamed, but I do feel like some of them would be easier to do on stream than others, just because of like, how to put it, just because of like how they're set up. It would be just kind of easier to have a chat, or even do some things like that are multiplayer focused. You know, one game that comes to mind is Death Road to Canada, which I've never finished. I've thought about doing that on stream to like try to finish it on stream, because then you have the additional element of trying to potentially like, well, one, because it would probably take a lot of runs to actually get to Canada and finish the game. Having a chat would help with some of the tedium of having to restart runs constantly, and also could also be interesting to like create like friends to put into the game, because you can actually do that in Death Road to Canada. Things like that I've considered. I've also been having like some breathing stuff lately. It's not too bad or concerning, but it's definitely like affecting my ability to talk right now. So I apologize for that. I'm having to like stop and like clear my throat periodically just because of this. So yeah, I definitely don't want to start a huge grandiose project right now, just because it would be kind of like, yeah, not the best state to be in to start like a huge undertaking. Yeah, I've definitely thought about also doing like a multiplayer thing, but yeah, it kind of hinges on how consistently I can get a stream schedule to stick. Like right now I'm thinking about like days that are evenly spaced apart, if that makes sense. So for example, like with Sunday, like the halfway point would be like Wednesday or something. So if I add another stream day, it could be somewhere like, yeah, Tuesday, Thursday, somewhere in that range. Just to give me some time to work on things in other days of the week. like review content and like just for YouTube stuff, because I do want to make some stuff that's like only for YouTube. Even though I think going forward the majority of the content will be Twitch first and then converted over to YouTube. But yeah, this is all very much up in the air and depends on a lot of variables in life. Life has been very unpredictable, to put it exceedingly mildly. Like, a bunch of things went south in January and actually resolved themselves quicker than expected by the end of January. So, again, if things had continued to go the way they were going, I definitely think I would not be able to stream right now. Also, like, ironically, I put out an update video, like, I recorded it and everything for the end of January, and by the time the video actually went live, the situation had already changed again, meaning that some of what I had said in the update video was already out of date, because that's how volatile the whole situation was. Which is definitely part of the reason why I haven't exactly committed to doing a lot of content on Twitch or YouTube going into this year, just because, like, who knows what else could happen. I don't really want to sit down and commit to, like, you know, Xenoblade right away, just because things are still a little bit volatile at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of my quick rundown on what will probably happen early on for Twitch. Yeah, if I add another day, I feel like I would probably go with, like, maybe Tuesday, because I feel like Tuesday is, like, not a super busy day for me, traditionally, so I feel like Tuesday would be a good day to, like, try to stream if I actually add another day onto the rotation. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know, but it would be nice, actually, to have another day, because then you have the benefit of, being able to actually do more stuff without burnout. Because if you basically stream one game on the one day of the week you always stream, I feel like you're gonna kind of burn out on the game faster than if you play multiple games, but having more than one day and rotating would make it a lot easier. So yeah, that's kind of like a lot of stuff I've been considering. I talked about this a lot in the previous stream, but since that was still kind of like a test stream, essentially, I didn't archive that one, so I did want to reiterate some of this stuff. I've also thought about doing more like, yeah, sort of like just chatting type content, because as a category on Twitch, I've thought about doing things where I basically, yeah, just sort of, yeah, do Q&A type stuff, answer questions, go through specific topics that people are curious about my opinions on, things like that. Because I do feel like, in general, I like talking about games, and then by doing, like, streaming content, you know, things that are currently happening tend to come up more, but on YouTube specifically, I feel like I don't end up sharing much about YouTube. Or much about my general gaming opinions on YouTube, just because a lot of times it's not really relevant to the game at hand. So kind of almost sort of like a podcast in a sense. Basically just kind of like talking through topics. Like, I was thinking about doing that as like a just chatting type stream of just like maybe farther in the month, just give my thoughts on a bunch of like gaming topics that chat wants to ask me about, things like that, like announcements and current events and stuff like that. Because again, a lot of things just wouldn't come up on like a normal playthrough of a specific game. But yeah, I've definitely been considering a lot of possibilities. I also feel like going through some older games again, whether they get archived like as a traditional like edited content series or as like full like Twitch VODs. That's another thing that will remain to be seen, because like for a game like you know, Sonic Heroes is a good example. I've already played that game in full on stream, so I feel like if I did the same thing again, it would be slightly redundant. But I kind of want to go through a bunch of Sonic games. I want to play Sonic 06, weirdly enough, just because the game, as much of a mess as it is, it's at least an interesting mess. It's a very, like, memorable game, regardless of its actual quality. And I almost feel like a stream series would work well in two regards. One, because it's actually got really ridiculous loading times, so actually having a chat would be kind of nice for the really long loading times, and also just because, again, in the live setting, you have more of that, need to just roll with the punches, and Sonic 06 will definitely punch back, because that game is, like, barely stable, so you have to be very, like, reactionary and on your toes when playing a game like that. So I feel like Sonic 06 would actually be a really good level of, or like 3D Sonic games in general would be a good level of, I know the games pretty well, specifically the adventure games, but they can also just randomly glitch. So there is that sort of sense of like unpredictability, which I feel like would work well for streaming and also just to practice. Frankly, that's kind of one of my concerns. That's one of my concerns about potentially streaming like an RPG, because you have a lot of like randomness to it. Like, you know, if you get a bad damage roll, then you might lose a fight and have to restart everything. On a platform like Twitch, you have a little bit more, you kind of have to, just roll with it a lot more than with YouTube, where you could just restart the recording, restart the fight, and so on. But also having a chat makes it easier to, like, again, just kind of roll with what happens. So yeah, that's kind of my overall, like, game plan for going forward with content. Again, I would like to get back to Twitch affiliate at some point. No rush on that. I'm currently 9 followers away, so I think it will happen eventually, but it will take time. I do feel like that is as far as I'm going to go with Twitch, though. Twitch will just be kind of like a side platform. Like, I don't know, like, the main thing for me right now is trying to decide which should be the main platform and which should be the secondary platform. Because essentially, if I'm making content first for Twitch and then putting it on YouTube, it kind of would feel like YouTube would be the secondary platform, but I'm still also actively working on a bunch of stuff for YouTube. So it's this kind of gray area where it's kind of like both, really. But even then, I talked about this in the previous stream, but I feel like I'm, in general, wanting to go into both with less of a serious mentality and more of a, whatever happens, happens kind of mentality. Instead of taking it, like, super seriously like I did a couple of years ago, to the point of burning out really badly. If I treat it a lot more casually, then I think I will burn out less quickly. And yeah, I just need to kind of come up with games to stream. I actually have a huge Google spreadsheet that I put together of games to potentially do videos and streams on. Maybe towards the end of the stream I might go through some of that list and show off possibilities there, because it's a very extensive list, to put it mildly. A lot of it's listed as YouTube, but it could also apply to Twitch too. But yeah, it's not like I have any shortage of games to potentially play. So yeah, I definitely need to think through a lot of the possibilities. Okay, might as well do this. Never mind, there's no Nook Miles for the exercise, so I guess we'll put it off until later. But yeah, in general, like, respiratory hasn't been great, so that's also why I've been feeling kind of self-conscious about getting back into streaming. Like, right now my nose is really closed up, and that's just kind of something that happens a lot, to be honest. And it's the kind of thing that's hard to predict, because some days, like, there'll be an atmosphere change, so it's really hard to, like, commit to, like, not doing something or like doing something on a specific day just because you never know how you'll be feeling and things like that. And to be fair, that also applies to physical health as well, like mental health. That can also definitely be the case of just waking up and being like, today is not the day to be doing this kind of a thing. So yeah, I definitely will probably archive this stream on YouTube. I don't know, how it's gonna work. I might try to put it, like, on a day when things normally wouldn't be uploaded, so it wouldn't conflict with anything. I'm also curious to see, like, how viewership is on a stream like this, basically. So yeah, I kind of feel like with Twitch, it's just a very different platform than YouTube, which has pros and cons. But I think in general, I think the pros outweigh the cons in some way to at least try to do both. I might also try to balance, like, I might also reorganize playlists and move, like, because I currently have stream archives and YouTube playthroughs separated. I might actually, I'm debating if I should rebrand everything as just like playthroughs, just kind of like a generic playthrough label, instead of trying to separate the two into categories. But I almost feel like it's helpful, just because the way I approach streaming commentary versus YouTube commentary is a little bit different, so it's not entirely like consistent, the two styles. But then again, after 6 years, I don't really have a consistent style anyway. A lot has changed on my channel in the past several years, to be honest. Like recently I went to look at a video to see how I structured it, and the way I commented this one series was like so not how I would commentate it now, which was kind of fun to see actually. But it also created this situation where it's like, oh wow, I could actually go back and update this playthrough. This was a Splatoon playthrough actually, so I've been like, maybe I should go back and do a proper Splatoon 2 playthrough that isn't as scuffed as the original was. Especially since 3 is coming out before too long. I feel like in the short term though, Animal Crossing is really good, just like low, I don't want to say like low commitment is the way I'm gonna put it. It's a kind of low commitment stream, like it can go on however long or short as you want it to go, so it's just a very nice, like, variable kind of a thing, which is kind of nice to not feel like you have to reach a specific part in the game before you can stop, because with Animal Crossing, you can kind of just stop whenever you want, which is nice. So yeah, I kind of want to do like an Animal Crossing marathon at some point, going through as many of them as I can, just to show off all the ins and outs of all of them. Maybe even go through and try to go through some of the spin-off stuff too, like, Happy Home Designer, if I can figure out a way to actually stream it. Maybe even like Amiibo Festival, just for the island mode. If I can't show it off in New Leaf, if I can't even stream that one. Stuff like that. And again, maybe at the end I'll show off my exceedingly long spreadsheet of all the stuff I was planning out that was just like, I am stuck, not able to work on anything, so I might as well just literally make a spreadsheet of like YouTube planning, just because I needed something to do in the month of basically waiting for things to settle down. So yeah, I have a lot written down here, as is. I actually also cataloged everything I've done, with like exact dates of first and last video, so I can see how long ago specific playlists, or specific playthroughs were. to help plan out actually when would be a good time to try to revisit a project. Like, Sonic Colors is a good example. That was like 2 years ago now? Maybe more like a year and a half ago. It wasn't that long ago, so like I wouldn't jump into Sonic Colors Ultimate until much later, and even if it didn't need like 5 more patches to be workable. It's playable now, but it's not ideal. So if it's ever like actually extensively fixed, I might consider doing that for like Twitch or YouTube. Conversely, I feel like it's a weird game where it's like too soon for me to play it again because it wasn't that long ago. Things like that. And yeah, I've also thought about doing more miscellaneous stuff. Like, one thing I found on Twitter a really long time ago is just like this thing, I think. It's basically like one of those things where for every like the post gets, you give an answer to a question. I don't know if it's actually showing on the stream. It is not. There it is. One of these types of things. I've thought about doing stuff like this on stream more, just because I feel like on YouTube and Twitch both, a problem I have is like depersonalizing the streams a lot, just because of like my overall nature of like not being kind of closed off as a person. So I've thought about doing things like that just to kind of open up about myself and just talk about things I'm interested in, because I feel like I don't talk a whole lot about things like that, to be honest. And do more like personal style videos. I've thought about doing like video essays on like characters I really like and things like that. Oops. Things that are a little bit more personal and less like just me talking about a game, but talking about like really like deep investment in specific games and like characters and themes and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of the current plan. I don't, again, know how much I'll actually go through with all this, because some of these things, like the Q&A idea, have actually been bouncing around for literally like a year now, and I've always kind of gotten cold feet from actually doing it, to be honest. So who knows if that'll actually happen, but it's definitely something I am currently considering. After all that talking, I am actually out of breath. Whenever I go to do full playthrough style things, like if I do like a full 3-hour stream of a game, specifically like an RPG, what will probably happen is I'll like pause every, half an hour to 45 minutes, like pause the recording basically, and then, take a break, essentially, just to give my voice a rest, because trying to talk for like 3 hours straight is definitely draining. Like right now, this is definitely not feeling great at the moment. I actually might call the stream pretty soon, just because my throat is not feeling good at the moment, and talking is not helping. So once we hit the hour mark, I actually think I'm gonna end the stream, just to rest my voice, because I feel like I need to rest my voice, and I haven't really even done a whole lot today, but just it's one of those days where like my breathing is just not cooperating. Another idea I've had is to basically come up with a sort of fluid schedule, like lock in a day like Sunday and be like, this is the guarantee stream day, and then set up like other days, like Tuesday or Thursday are the days I'm leaning towards, where I basically play through I'd play through a game, but not all the time. Like, sometimes there might not be 2 streams in a week, but sometimes there will be more than one. But yeah, kind of reserve like Tuesday or Thursday as like maybe days, where like Sunday is the guaranteed day, and then everything else is kind of like, yeah, it might happen, it might not, who knows. So yeah, I feel like that about covers most of what I had to say about YouTube, the YouTube and Twitch situation. This is also partly kind of like a second update video for YouTube because again, so much actually changed since the actual update video I did, that it might be helpful to have another update video. But yeah, I actually haven't really listened back to the next two videos for February, which are on Final Fantasy IV and Freedom Planet. But I imagine the audio in those is going to be kind of messed up a little bit just because of recording it in inopportune circumstances, to put it very mildly. So I'm most likely... those most likely won't be as good, like there might be more background noise and stuff like that. But I do want to still have those scheduled for February since I took all the time to record them. And then hopefully video quality will go back to normal around March. Yeah, I apologize for this being a much shorter stream than last time. But I do think I need to call it because just, yeah, this whole breathing situation and trying to talk through this is actually really not helping. But yeah, thanks for swaying by. If you enjoyed the stream, you can always follow the stream to be notified of when I go live in the future. Again, I am currently at 41 followers. If I get to 50 followers and also 3 concurrent viewers on average, I can reapply for Twitch affiliate, because I was an affiliate and then I left the program because I didn't stream for like a long time. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to work back up to affiliate, so if you want to help out with that, you know, swing on by that from time to time. That is obviously not required, but is appreciated whenever people are able to hang out. I always feel weird about this stuff. People always joke about like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. I don't do that on YouTube, and like right now on Twitch, obviously, since I'm actually making a push for affiliate, I'm actually trying to make a conscious effort of actually saying that. But honestly, I really don't like saying that. I just feel really self-conscious whenever I'm like, hey, like, comment, and subscribe, so I don't do that. And on Twitch, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, where I almost feel like it's part of the meta on Twitch and YouTube, but it just feels like pushier than my content style, or like, than I feel comfortable with in terms of like self-promotion and things like that. But yeah, hopefully that'll get easier as time goes on. To be fair, I don't know how much I'll even be doing things like that in terms of, yeah, like the like, comment, subscribe type stuff. But yeah, before I go, I do want to show off the thing I was talking about. So I need to actually set up a window capture. There it is. This might actually cause frames to drop because of trying to load a 1080p window. So apologies for that, but this is something I was working on while I was unable to actually work on anything else in January. I basically tried to come up with this huge spreadsheet of a bunch of different info on projects. So, for example, I have the stuff that's like actively being planned. This says Let's Plays. This could also be for Twitch, to be honest. Some of these aren't even out, like Sonic. I'm still waiting if the Origins collection is any good before committing to a version. Because who knows, it could actually be not a good version of the game to actually play through. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, this is kind of like my general game plan for the year, basically. Obviously somewhat variable because of timing. Like, you know, Mario Galaxy, I'd like to get to that before the end of the year because this year is the 15th anniversary. But because of everything else I have planned, that might not actually happen. Things like that. These are for the one-offs on YouTube, but like these are the two that are actually recorded. And this is stuff that I want to do later on. I have a weird idea where I want to do like really bad handheld versions of games for April Fool's Day. So that's why this is here. Last year I did Sonic Game Boy Advance, or Sonic Genesis for GBA, so that definitely fits the bill of bad handheld versions. This is also in limbo because it's rumored that that E3 won't even happen. And yeah, there's some blank spots too, which I'm actually glad after the Direct, because some of this stuff might slot in here. This can actually go, because I'm moving this to March to be more relevant to actually the new game being announced. And I also have like notes of like the specific mode I want to show off. Like for Hitman, I want to specifically go through the holiday mission in that game for a December video and things like that. I have reviews. These are like the 10-minute edited videos. This is kind of in limbo right now because I'm not sure if I'll split these up into 2 videos or if I can fit it in one. It'll probably be 2 videos. Yeah, there's a lot of Zelda. Because I'm trying to review every mainline Zelda game, and then potentially even spin-offs at some point, like, you know, Link's crossbow training and some more esoteric stuff like that, just because I think it'll be fun. Stream playthroughs, again, this could probably be consolidated with the planned Let's Plays at some point. And here's the list of all the actual series I did for YouTube, and I think this counts Twitch. It might not actually count Twitch. This one might not. It might be somewhere else. These are all one-off videos I've done, and all the reviews I've done, and here are the stream playthroughs. So yeah, I might end up consolidating some of these lists instead of having them separated. If YouTube and Twitch content becomes more integrated into each other. And here's the more interesting part, the list of hypothetical stuff to do. And again, a lot of these are probably not going to happen like this. I'd probably play Zero instead, which is the remake. But I just kind of wanted to jot down anything from my backlog that would be appealing. And some of these I actually forgot entries for. That's Super Nintendo also. I can actually do GameCube capture now, so I have a lot of GameCube on here because, yeah, I kind of want to go through all these at some point. This one might not because DMCA, sadly, even though this is like a big game from my childhood, I just don't think it would go well because of the copyright. Klonoa, this can go away because I do the remake instead, and also 2 probably. So yeah, I have a lot in mind for Twitch, as you can see. I have a lot in mind. I feel like the Switch is my main console at the moment. Like, I just pick up games on Switch because I like the portability. It really came in handy last month. So yeah, most of it's on Switch, it feels like. It's also just an easy console to capture, for the most part. So yeah, it's mostly gonna be Switch stuff, probably. I have a lot of older stuff as well. So yeah, I definitely have no shortage of possible stream ideas to go through. And yeah, I hope everyone has. Actually, I should close this before I forget about it, so it doesn't cover everything up. And then I'm wondering why no one can see the screen in the future. Yeah, I am definitely struggling in terms of respiratory stuff right now. So I'm going to actually call this stream earlier than it would have liked. But again, it felt good to actually just stick to a schedule for the first time in a very long time, even though this was a very short stream compared to what it could have been. But with all that being said, I hope everyone had fun. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day, and depending on when I stream next, I hope you have a good week. My plan, like I said before, is to stream every Sunday around 4 p.m. Pacific time, with possible bonus streams strewn in throughout the week. Again, most likely times for those to be Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. also. But yeah, I need to go rest my voice. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the future. And yeah, have a good rest of your day.